Hello guys, today I'll be talking about my top 5 most embarrassing unread books, and I first saw this video at Paige on Ancientology and Reagan at Peruse Project, and they're both great channels, so I'll leave a link to all of their stuff in the down bar below if you want to check them out. So in this video I'll basically tell you the books that I own and that I just have to read but I haven't read yet, and it's so embarrassing that I haven't read them. And this is in no particular order, it's not in order of preference, or it's not in the order of books that I need to read more or less. These are all in the same level of embarrassment. So the first book that I chose obviously is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I still haven't read this book. I bought it a while ago, and I bought it I think in 2012, and I was reading it before The Mark of Athena came out, and I was like 300 pages in, but then I stopped reading it because I wanted to read The Mark of Athena, and I never got back into reading it. So this year I want to read this book, and I also want to reread the first pages, and then I just want to keep going, and I just have to read this book. But the thing is, I'm not only intimidated by the size. I mean, I've read bigger books, but I'm intimidated that when I read this book, I'm committing myself to such a big series, so it kind of makes me intimidated, but I will read this year, I promise. Then we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. The movie just came out, and I just really want to read this. I remember when I bought it, I was super excited to read it, so I'm just gonna sit down and read it sometime this year. And the fact that it sounds so unique because it's narrated by death, so I think I will be really interested in reading it. So I'm very excited to read this book and see what it's all about, and then watch the movie because I'm so excited for it. The next book I chose is The Illusion of Separateness by Simon Van Boy. This is a standalone adult book, and I just really wanted to read this, and it's not long at all. It's like 200 pages, and I remember that I read the first half of it, in October, but then The House of Hades came out and I stopped reading it to read The House of Hades, and I never got back into it. Can you see what Percy Jackson books are doing to me? This book is really interesting. It follows a lot of characters in different time periods. You know, some characters are in the 1900s, some characters are in the 21st century, some characters in the 1960s, so it's just a very interesting book. But because in the end they are all interconnected. This character is that character's grandmother, and that character was married to that character, so it was really unique, and I was really liking it because it's one of those books that makes you really think. It's very thought-provoking, but in the end I still haven't read it, and I just want to pick it up and read the last half because I do remember what happened since it's only been a couple of months. So I'm very excited to read this book since I don't have much left. I'm just gonna read it. So the next one is a classic that I bought, and that is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov, and I was super excited to read this book. First of all, the cover is freaking amazing, and the concept just seems so interesting and twisted and dark that it just makes me want to read it, and I just want to see what it's all about because it just feels so genius. But so I want to read this book, and I was determined to read it right when I bought it, but new books came out and I read those books, and I never got around to reading this book. But I'm also gonna read this book this year because I'm just really interested in reading it, and Lana Del Rey says that this is her favorite book, so I'm just very excited because I absolutely love her songs, and her songs has references to this book, so I can't wait to read it and actually notice the references because it will be a lot more fun. And then the last book that I chose is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. I had never read the Harry Potter series before until last year, and last year I read from books 1 to 6, and I absolutely loved them. They were so good. My favorite is number 5 so far, The Order of the Phoenix, and I just had to read the Deathly Hallows, but I just couldn't bring myself to buying it because I don't want it to end. Harry Potter has just I just can't read it now. I'm not ready yet for it to end, but when I am ready I will buy it and I'll read it in less than 5 days or something. But I'm not ready for it to go.
I'm not, okay.
So guys, these are my top 5 most embarrassing unread books. Thank you for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.